Hey guys, this is my channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Samantha, I'm 16, and I decided to make a YouTube channel because, at least where I come from, in this past year on Instagram, people were making like fake Instagrams or Finstas, and I have one, and on it I would post like videos of me ranting and stuff, and people really enjoyed to watch them and listen to me talk. So I decided, why not? It'll be fun, and also I was just bored. So as you can tell by the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about my stalker fiasco. So let's just dive into the story. Okay, so this fall I was on the girls golf team. And so like at my school, we have like all our sports teams, and then like we obviously have a yearbook, and all those teams have pictures and stuff, and then there's like action shots. So what my school does is they hire photographers to come take the pictures of us like while we're like at our games or whatever. So one day, like we had our golf team pictures, and so this guy, he comes to the golf course, right? And he's like taking all our individual pictures, and then he's also taking our group, like our team pictures for the yearbook. So it was a little shady at first, and like I thought he was kind of weird. And like for anyone that knows me, I'm kind of like loud, and especially like in our golf team, like out of the golf girls, I'm more like loud and like giggly and like joking around and stuff. And so like, especially in awkward situations, especially like people just sitting there, and then he's like, next, like I'm one to talk and laugh and like crack a joke, right? So this guy, like, he was just making weird comments, and like he was staring at me a lot, and I didn't buy any pictures, so like I didn't even want to take an individual one because I wasn't gonna be buying them, so there's no point, right? But I'm standing there, and he's like, you, like, he points to me and he's like, you, it's your turn, like take your picture, take your bracelets off and stuff, like. And so, hold on, backtrack. For our individual pictures, he set up a golf bag. And for those of you that don't know, the golf bag, it's where the clubs are, is in the bag, and then there's two stands, so it kind of leans over. He set up the golf bag, and then we had to lay underneath of the golf bag, like this, and have our feet, like, twisted in the back. Kind of a weird pose. I don't know, just my opinion. So he's like, he points to me, he's like, come on, like it's your turn. And I was like, oh no, like it's fine, I'm not buying a picture, like I don't get into pictures. And he's like, no, like it's your turn, like you're taking a picture. So I was like, whatever, I didn't really think anything of it, right? So I go, I take my picture, it's all fine. And then we get to the group picture. Now, most regular high school sports teams pictures, you like line up in like a little formation and you just stand there and pose. Our picture, he had them wheeling a golf cart, and my coach sat in the seat pretending to drive it, and then he draped us around the golf cart. And the way he made me stand, I was like kidding around, and I like grabbed the pole on it, and I was like, yeah, I'll stand like this, and I like turned around. And he was like, actually, yeah, do that. And he like made me sit squatting around this pole with like me looking over my shoulder towards the camera. So his cameras look over there, and I'm like this. And it was just a little weird. So in the yearbook, that'll be the picture in the yearbook of our team. And it, like the way he positioned all of us was just like a little strange. Like there was like a lane on the top of the golf court, and like it looked like a Hugh Hefner picture, and like we were like Playboy girls or something. Like it was just weird. Okay, so that same day, after we were done taking our pictures and stuff, he packed up his car and went home, and we had our match. Now, this is like a week or so later, we had another match at home. And at this match, my grandma and my grandpa and my dad came to watch. And so, if you go to watch a golf match, you can either get a cart and ride along, or you can just like walk behind them. So, my dad and my grandparents, they were just walking behind me. And most of you probably don't know how my dad is, but he's just the type of person that, like, if you say something or like look like if you give him a funny look, he'll say something. Like he's like very confrontational and stuff, so like he's not afraid to like say something and like even make stuff awkward. And my grandpa, which is his dad, he's the grandpa that's always like, oh, like do you have a boyfriend? Like boys have cooties, blah 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 blah. Like embarrassing. All right, so in this match, this one particular match, I'm on our home course, and I hit my drive off of hole 2, and you guys probably don't know, but like you know in golf there's like different pars on each hole. Hole 2 was a par 4, so it was like kind of a longer course. And so I hit my drive, and then we walk down. My grandparents and my dad are following behind me. I hit my shot, blah, blah, blah. I end up getting onto the green. And as I'm walking up to the green, I see the photographer guy, like, standing by the green. And I didn't really register at first, but I was like, oh no, like, he's here. And, like, it made me nervous because I didn't want him to, like, say something to me or anything, because, like, at our team pictures, he wasn't, like, flirting with me, but he was just, like, awkward. And this guy was, like, older. Like, he was, like, in his upper 20s probably, and just creepy. Like, he just gives me, like, ugh, like, he just makes you want to, like, shiver or something. I don't know. But so I saw him, and in my head, I registered, and I was like, oh no, like, I hope he doesn't say something or do something to make my dad, like, say something. Because even if the photographer looked at me funny, my dad would be like, what are you looking at? Like, go away. And I just was like, it would just be a big distraction during my match, right? So anyways, I get to my green, and I, like, make my putt or whatever, and he's just, like, taking my picture. Like, it was fine. He didn't say anything. And then we go over to hole 3. Now, hole 3 is a par 3, so it's a very short course. So usually you can make it onto the green after, like, by your drive, usually. At least you should. So, like, this is my first year on the golf team, so I'm not, like, amazing. Like, I'm pretty bad. So this guy, I'm teeing up my ball, and he just walks out, like, in front of the tee box and lays on the ground. And he's, like, probably, like, 15 feet away, and he's laying on the ground, and I start taking, like, my practice swings, and then you just hear click, 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 click. And, like, at least for me, like, the smallest things distract me, and it can, like, mess me up. So that was just during my practice swing. Now I get into my actual swing where I, like, tee off, and I go to hit my shot, and he starts doing his picture. So I go to hit it, and I just, like, biff so bad. Like, I messed up. I don't even know how I did this, but the ball goes straight at him and, like, almost hit him in the head. He had to duck onto the ground. Like, his face was in the ground, and it, like, skidded his head. Like, if he didn't duck, I would have hit him right in the face. And he was like, oh my gosh, you almost killed me, blah, 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 blah. And then my dad starts, like, yelling at him, and he's like, what do you expect? You shouldn't lay right in front of her when she's taking her shot. You're distracting her. And I'm just standing there like, oh my gosh, like, this is so embarrassing. So I end up taking another shot because my shot was so bad, like, not even acceptable. So I just drive off again, or tee off again, and I continue with the hole. And then at this same hole, he followed us down the hole onto the green. He was taking my picture while I was putting, and then, like, as I'm, like, getting my ball, I'm putting my clubs back and marking what I got, like, my score, he starts, like, telling me, like, I'll be at your school for picture day, like, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh, like, I'm not a senior, like, you won't be taking my picture. And he's like, no, like, come, I'll be there, like, I'll take your picture for you, like, it'll be okay, like, I'll let you take it as many times as you want so you can have a perfect picture, like, all this stuff. And he was, like, being really weird. And so my grandpa's like, oh, like, are you guys, do you guys like each other or whatever? And I was like, no, Grandpa, like, he doesn't even go to our school. This guy's, like, an adult. Like, my grandpa's just dumb and, like, just so embarrassing. Like, it was so bad. But we ended up going on to the next hole, and, like, I didn't see him that much after that, blah, blah, blah. It was fun. So now, this is, like, a week or so, maybe 2 weeks after the golf match incident with me almost killing him. It's picture day at school, right? So what we do is we start, like, the seniors have their own picture day, but, like, this year they were all together. So the seniors took their pictures on the same day as everyone else, and we have, like, an auditorium, and you take your picture on the stage. And then there's, like, the back room and the green room and the dressing room, and the seniors get their pictures in the back room on the side of the stage, not, like, the 4 cameras where everybody else takes their picture. So I'm, like, they called, like, my last name down or whatever, like, I'm whatever, K through L or whatever, I don't know. But they called me down, and I'm in line, and then I get up onto the stage, and I'm sitting there waiting for my picture, and he walks out of the back, because he was doing the seniors' pictures. And he comes up to me, and he's like, do you have a sister? And I, like, stood there, and I was like, yeah. But in my head, I was like, my sister's in 2nd grade, like, there's no way that he knows her. And I was like, yeah, I have a sister, and he's like, she almost killed me the other day at a golf match. And I just stood there, and I was like, that was me, not my sister. And he was like, like, I'm not even kidding you. I said it, and he grabs my arm, and he goes, come with me. And he takes me to the back. Like, I'm not exaggerating. This actually happened. He takes me to the back room, and, like, he's like, I'll take your picture. Like, don't, like, worry about those other people or whatever. And he, like, closes the door. And I was like, okay, like, sweet. And then he's like, do you want, like, a comb or something? So he gives me, like, a comb and a mirror so I can fix my hair. And he's like, that looks good. Like, wear it like that. And I was just like, okay. Like, I was freaked out, but, like, for whatever reason, in the moment, I was just kind of chill about it. Like, I didn't think much about it till afterwards. So, like, I sit in the little stool, and he, like, positions me, and I, like, take my picture, and then he's like, the school picture ladies don't let you see your picture. They snap it, and then you leave. And I was in there for, like, 30 minutes, and he'd be like, do you like it? And I would just be like, no, like, I want to take a new one. So I kept taking my picture, and he was like, adjust your hair, like, he was, like, telling me, like, how to pose, and it's just really weird. And then, like, seniors started to come in, and, like, they were just standing there, and he was like, just wait, guys, like, she's still, like, taking her picture. Like, there was a line of people, and I'm just taking my picture over and over and over again. And finally, I was like, thanks, like, I got my picture, like, I'll just use that one or whatever. And then he's like, all right, like, bye, whatever. And then I went back to class. So after the picture incident, I don't remember exactly how long this was. Maybe it was even that next Friday, or like a week or so after. I couldn't even tell you. But so Friday nights we have football games, and this photographer guy, he doesn't only take golf pictures, he takes all the pictures. So he's at the football game on the field taking pictures of the players for the yearbook. But so this game, the golf team signed up to sell raffle tickets, like 50-50 tickets. So me and this other girl from the golf team were walking the stands, like trying to sell tickets, and he like hollers at me from like the track and on like the field, from like I'm in the stands, and he hollers to me from the ground, like on the field pretty much. And I was like, hi, like whatever, and he's like, pose guys, like smile. And so like me and this girl were like, whatever, like we like, he takes a picture of us in the stands, like around all these adults, and we're just like smiling. He takes our picture, and then like the theme of that night was beach, so I had sunglasses on, so I could see the guy without him knowing. Like I could be facing like this, but like still looking, you can't tell. And he was like taking my picture in the stands, and like all the other golf team, they were kind of like, oh, like look, like there's the guy, like he's taking your picture. And I was like, yeah, I don't know like what that's about. And my golf coach was like, just be careful, like make sure you're aware, blah 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 blah. So there was that game, and then like however many weeks it was probably a week later, we had our homecoming week. And so on Thursday we have a parade, and then like we all go, we end at the school, and then we have games, and then the next day's the homecoming game. So like at the parade, like each class has a float, and I rode along with the junior float, and we're on the float throwing candy and stuff, and we see him like in the sidelines, like with all the people. And he had his camera, he's taking pictures, and then he had like another camera, like he had two cameras on. And he was taking all his pictures with one, and I'm not even kidding you. He looks at me, switches cameras, gets like in my face, like he was probably this far, like his camera lens was like this far from my face, and he's like, smile, and he like takes my picture, and then he like spreads out and takes like a group one with the different camera. And like, I think that's just so sketch, because he's probably like, I think in my head, like, he probably has pictures of me at his house, and, like, I can't, like, assume or say that because I don't know, but, like, he literally looks right at me, switches cameras, and then starts taking my picture, and, like, and so, like, I was, like, freaking out, like, on the thing, and I was like, guys, like, that's the guy from picture day. Like, I had told people about this because, like, it really creeped me out or whatever. And then, so, like, later on in the parade, like, we're almost at the end, he had, like, walked around, so he was at the end of the parade, and he did the same thing. Like, he took, this was 2 instances in the same parade, he switched cameras and, like, took my picture again, and then, like, that was pretty much the end of it. So that was pretty much, like, the last encounter I had with him taking my picture, because, like, golf season's really short, and he doesn't come to every match, so, like, he wasn't, like, I haven't really, like, had him take my picture again. But, like, he's at basketball games and stuff, too, and, like, every time I see him, like, I just get so creeped out. And like at our homecoming dance, like he was there, and like I saw him and I literally ran away because like if he would have looked at me, he would have taken my picture, and I didn't want him to like watch me at the dance or anything, or like I didn't even want him to see me like in my dress and stuff, because like it just makes me feel so sick thinking about him, and like because it's just creepy and it just scares me, because he would like flirt with me and smile at me, and like the whole team was like saw it and was aware of it, and like my coach noticed, and like my dad even said something about it. And then like later on, I don't remember where I was, but I don't remember what class, but I was in class and I like said something to someone, and like my teacher turned around and was like, you should tell somebody about that, like you should call your counselor and tell them blah blah, like blah blah blah, and be like, hey, this guy, like he took me to the back room and he like closed the door and he let me in there for like 30 minutes, blah, like blah, blah, blah. I keep saying blah, blah, blah. But yeah, she just told me like, you should talk to your counselor. And I never ended up doing it because I just forgot. And yeah, I probably should have, but my mom was always really mad about it. And I don't know if she did, but she like wanted to call the school and like tell them like, hey, like you should maybe not hire this guy because he's like kind of like spying on my daughter, like hitting on her, I guess. I don't know what word to use. Like, would be like, I don't even know how to describe like the interaction. Like I wouldn't say he was like completely flirting, but I wouldn't say he was like just like looking, like it was just so weird. I don't even know how to explain it. Alright, so that's my video. I don't know how often I'm gonna do this or if I'm gonna do it again. I just thought it'd be fun. I'm pretty bored right now. So yeah, that's the story of my stalker fiasco, if that's what you want to call it. I don't know. So, like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want. I don't know. And I'll see you in my next video. I'll figure out when that'll be. I'll let you know. Bye!